This is kind of like an idea I had for a zombie thing that popped into my brain at one point that I thought it was a little unique. Uh, it happened suddenly. First one town, then another, and another. Then a city, full state. Eventually it was the whole country. The rest of the world set up a quarantine at the Mexican and Canadian and Canada. English. The rest of the world set up a quarantine at the Mexican border, and Canada was evacuated. 1 year in, and all of North America was just a zombie paradise. Small communities under martial law, probably rogue groups of survivors trying their best outside the zones. 2 years and the infected began to mutate from the fungus spreading around their bodies. I was infected on the third year. I watched myself eat my brother. I wanted to cry, but apparently my body wouldn't listen anymore. My sister ran in fear. I hope she's alive somewhere. It's been 2 months since then. I've killed so many people. I'm so tired. My body aches, but the fungus keeps me going. Feeds me through my bloodstream to keep my body going, or something, I guess. I don't know, but it's not like I've had to go to the bathroom. I've been shot 12 times. Terrified people don't aim well. Taken an axe to my shoulder, machete to my neck. Neither killed me. Kinda wish they had. Sometimes hear survivors talking. Apparently the fungus has spread all the way to Brazil. Europe was starting to see cases of infection. I wonder if I'm the only one like this. Conscious of everything happening to my body. The rain felt good on my skin, and I reached up and brushed my hair out of my... Wait. Why was I on the floor? Wait. I was moving my arm of my own free will? I sat up and looked around the room I'd fallen down in. The roof had partially collapsed at some point. My face was covered in blood that was slowly washing away with the rain. There was a corpse beside me, teeth marks, missing chunks. I gagged at the copper taste in my mouth. Couldn't hold back and crawled to the nearest corner and threw up whatever was still in my stomach. Odd mix of fungus and what I could only assume was partially digested human flesh. Curled up into a fetal position and cried in the rain. Don't know for how long. I'd already come to terms with being trapped in a husk and suffering trauma for the rest of however long my body would continue to hold out. But somehow I was free. The nightmare was over. I could end it on my own terms. And then I realized something. The other husks? I had made up the name. Other people used the term zombie, but I figured at least some of them had to be like me. I couldn't have been alone. They'd come at the sound of my crying. They were sniffing around, wandering, looking for food that had made that noise. But none of them were coming after me. Somehow, I didn't register as potential food. In the months I'd been watching myself, husks never attacked each other. They still see me as one of them. I sniffled to nobody. My voice brought one right up to me and it stared me in the eyes. I was frozen in fear, but it simply stood back up and wandered away. My plan to finally end my suffering was still fresh in my mind, but what if I could help people? Maybe even the world. My suffering would have been for nothing if I ended it all now. My stomach gurgled then. I guessed I was back to having to eat. I decided to put it all out of my mind and scavenge a little since the husks were ignoring me. Found some clothes in a plastic, vacuum-sealed bag in a closet. A little big, but better than walking around in blood-stained rags riddled with holes. I didn't really have too much to worry about as long as the husks kept ignoring me. Well, I guess I didn't know how long that would last at the time. Some discarded cans, soup, and vegetables were still in the kitchen of this house. Hadn't been scavenged yet. Wondered for a moment where exactly I was, but decided it didn't matter much as I dug through some drawers. Found something to open the cans, a spoon, a pair of leather boots at the front door fit my feet. I found a ruined chair, and had a first meal in... I'd lost track of time. I used a cloth shopping bag to hold what was left, and left the partially collapsed home. The rain stopped by that time. I left and decided to walk around the area for a little while. They continued to ignore me for the entire day as I scavenged. Though I say ignored, they did occasionally to come check what made a noise when I tripped or dropped something. A whole group of like 30 came sprinting when I triggered a car alarm. But not once did any of them move to attack me. Not even the weird mutants bothered me. It was surreal, though the smell of the town was awful. Rotting corpses caused by both these husks, of people, animals, the clouds of spores in the homes. By the time I decided I was done, I had a duffel bag and a little backpack and filled them with anything I found. I made a spear out of a metal pole and a kitchen knife with some duct tape. And, yep. Let's see. It once again occurred to me as I reached the outskirts of this town I had no idea where I was. The only sign I could see of any use said East 36. I followed it to the east on a bicycle, left on the side of the road, with its former owner missing an arm beside it. And that's the last I wrote of that. It wasn't even a first draft or something, it was just a flow of consciousness, pretty much from beginning to end.